The crowd was still roaring when it happened. Sweat poured from broken bodies, the smell of blood clinging to the air. The victor raised his hands, bruised but proud, his chest heaving under the lights. The fight was over. Or so everyone thought. From the shadows, the defeated man's face twisted with rage, his fists clenched, his pride shattered. And then he lunged. The sucker punch cracked louder than the bell itself. Gasps ripped through the arena. Security froze. The referee turned too late. For a split second, injustice ruled the cage. But the champion did not crumble. His eyes lit with fury, his body moving on instinct. One final blow thundered through the silence. The loser collapsed, sprawled across the canvas he had already failed to conquer. Justice had struck like lightning. Where are you watching the video? Comment, and if you like the video, please subscribe and like the channel. The air was thick with tension. The crowd's roars rattled the steel cage, but beneath the noise, something darker was brewing. The victor stood tall, battered but unbroken, his chest rising and falling like a war drum. His face was swollen, lips split, yet his eyes carried the pride of survival. Across from him, the loser's body shook, not from exhaustion, but from rage. His jaw clenched, his fists remained balled. He whispered to himself, "Not like this. Not tonight." The referee raised the champion's arm. The audience erupted, but behind the celebration, a shadow moved. The defeated fighter stepped forward, his movements sharp, his stare burning with humiliation. And then it struck, the punch no one saw coming. A sucker blow, thrown not in sport, but in bitterness. The sound was sharp, like wood snapping in fire. Gasps tore through the arena. For one heartbeat, injustice ruled the cage. Security hesitated, the referee froze, and fans screamed in disbelief. The champion staggered, eyes wide, his victory poisoned by betrayal. But the story did not end there. Something changed in his gaze. Fury, primal and unyielding, replaced exhaustion. The air seemed to thicken. His body coiled, instincts older than the sport itself taking over. One final strike, a thunderous blow that cracked through the silence. It landed with a force born not of malice, but of justice. The loser crumpled, collapsing onto the same canvas he had already lost on. The crowd erupted into chaos. Beer cups flew, voices clashed between rage and elation. Faces appeared and disappeared like ghosts in the frenzy. The cage was no longer a battleground of rules, but of raw survival and retribution. The champion stood over his fallen rival, his chest heaving like a furnace. No words were spoken, but his glare said everything. This was the price of betrayal. Yet even as order tried to return, even as officials poured into the cage, one thing became clear. This night was far from over, because the world had just witnessed a crime and a punishment in the same breath, and the consequences were only beginning to unfold. The silence was heavy, broken only by the thud of security boots rushing into the cage. The loser lay sprawled, his body twitching, his pride shattered. Groans leaked from his throat, swallowed by the deafening roar of the arena. Fans pressed against the barricades, their faces pale in the flicker of flashing lights, their voices torn between shock and savage delight. The champion did not move at first. He stood tall, drenched in sweat, his fists still trembling from the fury that had just erupted. His eyes burned holes into the man at his feet. He whispered, almost to himself, "Never again." The promoters huddled near the cage door, whispering fast, their suits gleaming under the lights. They saw dollar signs where others saw disgrace. The judges looked away, unwilling to confront the chaos they had failed to prevent. Corruption lingered in the shadows, even here, in the heart of the sport. But nothing could erase what the cameras had captured. The betrayal, the blow, and then the brutal strike of karma. Instant justice, broadcast in slow motion for the world to see. Whispers spread like wildfire. "Did you see that? He deserved it." That's what happens when pride blinds you. Clips already flashed on screens around the arena, replaying betrayal and punishment again and again. The loser's reputation collapsed in real time. Each replay, another nail in his coffin. The champion finally turned away, his shoulders heavy but unbroken. He had defended more than just his victory. He had defended the honor of the cage itself. His figure, scarred and bruised, walked into legend that night. But legends are not written in silence. They are carved in controversy, in whispers of betrayal, in the echoes of fists thrown after the final bell. The sport itself would now wrestle with what had happened, torn between justice and scandal. Because when betrayal and pride meet inside the cage, the world does not forget. Don't forget to comment where you're watching from, like this video, and subscribe for more stories.